Let me start by way of conveying the congratulations of the entire House, including myself, of course, to the two parties represented in Parliament for the successful dialogue that they have held at the Bintumani Conference Center over the last several days. As some of you may have seen, the communique from that dialogue has been published on the social media. Very early this morning, I had the opportunity of reading it. And it's precisely for what I've read and believe it was quite in place in furtherance of our democracy in this country, that I now take the opportunity to congratulate both sides that took part in that dialogue. All of us will do so more enthusiastically when we would have been joined by our colleagues who have been long in coming. I'd actually hoped that they would have come this morning to be part of the proceedings. I notice, unfortunately, they are not yet here. Maybe they will come in the course of the proceedings, in which case we shall all welcome them and ensure that the needful is done, namely the swearing in of the new members, which legally, effectively, would make them members of Parliament. The good thing is that we moved from their coming being a forlorn hope to one of great expectation. And let me underline one fundamental principle. Our Constitution of 1991, as everybody will appreciate in this House, is predicated on the existence and maintenance of a multi-party democracy. Multi-party democracy. What that means is that the 1991 Constitution eschews, condemns, considers totally unacceptable a one-party system of governance for this country. Which means at all times, the composition of this House should be democratic, with at least two parties represented in it. And this is why I've been urging the members of the opposition to see reason and to see the need for them to come and represent their electorate who voted them to Parliament and perform their constitutional responsibilities accordingly. I want to say in advance, I extend a very warm hand of felicitation filled with the utmost expectation that before we rise, we might enjoy the company of our colleagues to my right, to my left. I don't know whether the acting leader of the opposition has anything to tell us.
They are coming. That's fine. Double assurance.
Are you as optimistic as you just nodded? Does your optimism extend to expecting them to arrive today or another day? How soon is soon? Very well then. I know that my humble self and all of you are so very expectant this morning, and we shall remain so until the conclusion of our proceedings today, that we'll have the honor and the rare privilege of welcoming to the chamber our colleagues from the opposition. With that, we may proceed with the rest of the business. And I will predicate the ruling with a little background for the edification of all the members of Parliament. I, sitting here as your speaker today, was not your speaker yesterday, nor will I be tomorrow. But for the moment, I am the speaker of this House. And for the sake of posterity, when I would have left this chair, I would not like future generations to come and say, with all the wealth of experience and education Dr. Abbas Bundu had, why did they proceed the way that they did under his watch as Speaker? Before the interview of these nominees for the diplomatic appointments, I inquired from the leader of government business whether he had received the agreement of the nominees concerned. And he said no, he had not. And I advised that they should not be interviewed until the agreement were received. He pleaded with me that they were just going to be interviewed, but they would not be presented to the House for approval until the agreement arrived. The moment the interview was done, pressure started piling up from different quarters, asking for approval to be carried out by the House. Now, with modesty, let me tell you my background, honorable members. I have 3 degrees in law, 2 of them with specializations. An LLB with honors from the National University of Australia, where I graduated in 1969. After that, I went on to Cambridge.
Cambridge finest.
Where I acquired my LLM honors and my PhD in international law and constitutional law. And I've practiced law since my call over 50 years now. So I wouldn't want youngsters to come tomorrow after I would have left this chair and they ask questions under the watch of Dr. Abbas to see what was done wrongly. I will not be around to defend myself, but let it be on record. You will not be around either. And with the kind of enthusiasm that I see in you, you'll be elsewhere. But in all seriousness, let me make this clear. From now on, and this is a ruling, and it should be reported to the clerk for all time, let it be on the record. From now on, no nominee will be interviewed by the Appointments Committee for a diplomatic appointment abroad, unless, in addition to all the little conditions that you people normally require them to bring, the following two ingredients are tendered. First, the letter of appointment by His Excellency the President.
That's always a comment.
Second, the agreement from the receiving country to which the diplomat will be proceeding as an ambassador. Those two documents must be presented to Parliament before the commencement of the interview of the candidate for approval. It is right international best practice for those requirements to be met before any approval procedure is entertained in this House. I have come under tremendous pressure from different quarters that will go nameless to allow this to be an exception. And it will be the utmost exception that I make it in this particular instance. And never again will I sit here and approve anyone for appointment to a diplomatic post without the agreement being tendered to this House. We must learn to act and obey and conduct our activities according to law. We are a country that believes in the rule of law. We believe in procedures. You may call me old edition if you like. But thank God old editions are around. In fact, I feel gratified today that I see among the nominees people who are also in the departure of their profession, in the departure lounges of their professions.
Are you talking about Mr. Dabo?
Experience is something you do not buy. You gain it through practice. And you youngsters, don't ever think you can do well without the older ones and the sustainers. You need us. You need us at all times to be around, to guide you from your own follies and mistakes. So I hope you are paying attention.
Are you referring to me?
To you particularly. And I repeat, no more interviews of diplomatic appointments unless two things are tendered to Parliament. First, the letter of appointment from the presidency. Second, the agreement. Before the procedures of Parliament for approval are commenced. Let that be a ruling of this House going forward.